I missed something in yesterday's analysis, and it's 0.6% under the things get bearish line that I provided yesterday. I'm going to show you what that line is in my video, and I would hope that you write that one horizontal into your chart that you probably will be able to use over the next few days. In addition to that, let's go ahead and review on top of yesterday's analysis, to which I'll link you at the end if you missed yesterday's analysis. I want to layer an analysis on top of yesterday's that shows you it's statistically likely that yesterday's bullishness continues if this happens. It's an if-then line, so therefore we're going to have two horizontals, one to the top, one to the bottom. Let's go get it. Are you ready? Bitcoin went past my things get bearish line and did exactly the thing I warned about yesterday. I said, if Bitcoin closes a 1 hour candle below this line from yesterday's analysis, and again, I'll link that to you at the end of this video because it's still relevant. Yesterday's analysis still applies. It did it exactly and then turned right around. But I think it's because I missed something from yesterday's analysis. The reason I was thinking that is because of these two candles right here, these two daily candles, the bottom of it. I was thinking, yeah, an hourly goes below there. We're probably going down at least to 44.7, down to test the monthly 10, which I can throw on right now. And it would have given this as the next target, 44.7, if a 1 hour candle closed below it. And guess what? A 1 hour candle closed it the next day. But I think what I missed was the monthly open. If I hover over this, it looks like the monthly open happened at 45,522. 45,522. I recommend that you draw a line, just a one horizontal line on your chart at 45,522. And if you even zoom down to the 5-minute chart, this could be a very important line throughout the next few days. I would guess that Bitcoin's going to continue heading upward and onward, and as it does that, this line will become less and less relevant, but Bitcoin might flounder around here for a little bit, and if it does, I think this will be the battle line. Is this month flipping red or staying green? That's happening at the number I gave you, 45,522. That's, yeah, close enough. Now let's go down to the 5-minute chart, and Bitcoin went below the oh crap line I gave yesterday and got closer to the monthly open, flirted with that. And this does also coincide with traditional markets coming down to just like this white line. Here's the monthly 10. If you go to traditional markets so far seem to maybe be forming a higher low and giving an extra test of this monthly 10. After failing a key horizontal across all major indices and then testing again across most indices besides Dow Jones, and Bitcoin moves with these, and it's kind of doing the same thing, right? Bitcoin's moving sideways, so are traditional markets. They're just above their monthly 10. They just got above it, coming down to retest it. They're in very, very similar posturings. Therefore, 45,522 could be a very key line for you. Let me move this a little closer. And this could be the battle line for the next few days. In yesterday's analysis, something I also mentioned is in the two bullish cases for Bitcoin, one includes the other line I asked you to draw, an ascending line. I said it could get rejected and then turn into a stable coin. Remember that? I said that's the second, bullish case. And look what's happened. This right here is the line that I asked you to draw. I asked you to draw essentially two lines yesterday, a trend line. And if you didn't catch yesterday's video, I show you how to draw it in that video. You can rewatch it because that full analysis from yesterday is still relevant today. I ask you to draw that line. Let's zoom into it right there. Let's even go down to the 5-minute chart once again. And what did Bitcoin do after that video? So I recorded that video somewhere around here. Guess what happened? Kablam, went exactly up to it. Came down to the other line I talked about. It's almost like magic, right? Almost like magic. These are the two lines I gave you yesterday, and Bitcoin hit one and went straight to the other. I didn't actually expect that to happen. I expected more bullishness, turn into a stable coin with a little higher, or actually breaking into this. That was my expectations yesterday, and my oh crap line, things are changing around if you get a 1 hour closure here. But it's more coincidental. I did not call this. I did not say it's going from here to here. I want to be clear with that. That would have been a great call, but I did not make that call. But these are coincidentally the two exact lines, and Bitcoin has been interacting exactly with those two lines, oddly enough. Now, yesterday's analysis of I think Bitcoin is going to rejoin the house party into this trading channel. Let me zoom out so you can see the house party a little bit better. This blue stuff, when Bitcoin's in here, it's in the house party. It's part of the cool kids club, right? It has left the party. It's not one of the cool kids right now. It's like, you know, maybe Bitcoin's a cigarette smoker and is outside on the porch. I don't know what's happening. But, you know, shame on you, Bitcoin, if you smoke. I probably spent 8 years of my life smoking cigarettes. But anyway, yesterday's analysis becomes more, I guess, probable once again in terms of Bitcoin will break into there, as long as I would call it even a 1 hour candle can close above the exact line, and a fake out could happen, but as long as a 1 hour candle can close above, let's just call it 46.8. If you get a 1 hour close above 46.8, then I would be again as bullish as I was yesterday. Right now, even though, and you might be asking yourself, well, Tim, you've already said a couple of times, oop, I hit a wrong button. I said yesterday's analysis is still relevant. It is, however, because Bitcoin did close an hour behind or below my oh crap line, things get bearish line, it's slightly less probable at this point, right? I still think upside is more probable right now, but it is less probable. For example, when you flip a coin, it's a 50-50 chance of flipping either a heads or a tails. Imagine somebody says, well, because I changed the weight of the coin, now it's 45-55 chance, right? 45% chance of flipping a heads, something to that effect. You can change the probabilities of things and the likelihoods of them. Right now, I would still guess that more upside momentum throughout April is more likely, but let's say yesterday that upside momentum for April was, let's say, 62% likely. Now, after this move, I would put it at like 55% likely, something to that effect. And the point where the upside potential for April becomes, let's figuratively say 62% again, is with a 1 hour closure above that line. I think I'm being exceptionally clear here. All right. Now, for my Discord community, when something like that happens, I will then post, you might want to watch out. There might be some hesitation within this triangle because Bitcoin could use this line once again as resistance. So during this time, price bullishness would be on a percentage chance just as bullish as it was during my last video. Once it breaks into there, then the chances of upside through April go from 62, let's say, to 68%, something to that effect. A bullish April increases, right? So these are the lines in which probabilities change, and I will be eyeing this line like both of these lines like a hawk, and this 3 lines actually. The monthly open, 46,800, and this ascending trend line, which I showed everybody how to draw. These are the 3 lines off of which I will base a lot of my Discord alerts over the month of April, unless, of course, Bitcoin just breaks down. Speaking of Discord, if you haven't checked it out, links to that in the description section of all my videos. You can join live video and voice chats. Turn on your microphone and camera, again, up to 8 times a week. Follow me on Twitter at cosasverdes with the number 2 afterward, cosasverdes2. And if online communities are not your thing, but you want exclusive and more content above and beyond what I provide on YouTube, just click the join button right below this video. Another video will pop up describing your options to you. See, when I say that stuff, I screw up a lot when I don't edit my videos, but I'm kind of tired of editing, so. And a lot of people, somebody just gave me really harsh feedback on a YouTube comment saying, your editing sucks and you're the problem. Like, he was kind of nice about it in a mean way, but so I'm just not going to edit anymore if you don't like it. Anyway, because I think it gets through the content faster, but here we go. So these are the 3 lines, 46.8, the trend line that I gave everybody yesterday, and then the monthly open at 45. Is this the monthly open? Go to the month. 45,522. 45,522. So I will draw these in here. And you probably need these lines on your chart if you're clicking around with your money, I'm telling you. Like this is going to be the basis of pretty solid analysis over the next, or at least structural analysis. Not using EMAs, not using any indicators, just raw structural analysis. These are the 3 things that I'm going to be looking at. 2 horizontals, and then one ascending trend line. Again, Ethereum, though, on the weekly, or no, not even on the weekly, Ethereum simply went down to the bottom of its trading channel, in which it has lived since about the same time Bitcoin's house party channel was formed around March 11th. It simply is a retest. Since it has not broken this, from a statistically likelihood standpoint, it still is statistically likely that Ethereum will bounce from this, thus all of crypto will too. However, what could easily ruin the party, and why I keep suggesting that you watch yesterday's video, is because on traditional markets, Bitcoin is trading with traditional markets. I let folks know that what could ruin the party is, and I asked everybody, please draw this line in here. I gave the exact level. I gave the ticker, IXIC, and I said, if you see price fall drastically below this, this is going to ruin the party, and my analysis probably will get destroyed if traditional markets like drastically fall below, which is exactly what happened. So I did yesterday give a cover my own butt scenario. I was bullish, but hey, you need to draw this line, things get less bullish. And also, that line on traditional markets that I gave yesterday from tickers IXIC and SPX, or SPY, I'm not for sure which one I gave. Those were also two other indicators saying if price falls back below or gets rejected from these, then it could ruin the party on Bitcoin's bullishness, given that Bitcoin is trading like a risk-on asset, which is essentially what NASDAQ indices and most of things that trade with NASDAQ are considered are risk-on assets as opposed to gold, right? Gold is not considered a risk-on asset. All right. And again, today on the daily candle, it looks like today's has a pretty strong chance of flipping red, right? If today stays red, which was not my guess from yesterday, and tomorrow's green, well, you'll still have around the daily open, which happens at 8 p.m. New York time. Let's see here. I think that would be 1 a.m. Berlin time, 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Berlin time, 1 a.m. London time. Around that area, you'll have, if tomorrow's green, you'll still have a wick down. So what I'm looking for is sometime around 8 p.m., you might have, if you're still, assuming we're still bullish, you'll probably have another type of pullback before getting over this line. So let me be specific. With the assumption, which isn't it's not 100% assumption, it's just my assumption for now, that things will be bullish in April for all the reasons stated yesterday. With that assumption, I would be looking for, before price gets over here, you're going to want one more downturn somewhere around, 8 p.m. New York time to, let's say, maybe 8 to 8. Around the non-trading hours for traditional markets, you're going to have some type of retest, and then the next, and that would be your green wick to the downside before a green day the next day. Sometimes that pullback and the green wick happens all in the first hour of the next day, and then the day just is green for 23 hours. Sometimes that happens, but also the second most common way, or maybe even the first, tied for the first most common way, I really don't know the stats behind that because I haven't backtested it, but just off of viewing price a lot at 8 p.m., one of the most common ways is in the first hour and a half or two, you get downturn before, and then the next 22 hours are green. It's a green day. Or it just floats around, kind of comes down on a green day the first 12 hours, traditional markets open, then Bitcoin screams. Is there any in between? Sure, but usually not so much. Those are the two by far the most common ways. So it could either happen around 8 to 9 p.m. New York time today, a pullback before the rest of the day is green, right? The daily candle doesn't flip red a single time the next 22 hours, or things are flighty, floaty, pullback until 8 a.m. the very next day, and then traditional markets open at 9:30, in which Bitcoin then gets a leg up. In the event that tomorrow is a green day, I'm still going to go with that guess, but at this time, remember, like I said, the probabilities of that happen have been reduced. I would still give it a probability at this time, which is defined as over 50%. So 50.00001%, right? That means it's probable. I would still give it slightly over 50% chance of being, green the next this week. But it's definitely not as probable as it was yesterday. Therefore, I gave you that one of the three lines I want you to have on your chart. One of them is 46,800, and that is when the probabilities for upside become as good as they were yesterday. Make sure you have these three lines on your chart. And again, if you did not catch yesterday's Bitcoin analysis video, which is still relevant today, click this video right here. And if you want to learn how to set up a chart like mine with EMAs and other fancy indicators and how to save templates, go ahead and click this video right here. You just got Simplified Worldwide. Peace.